So my name is Dr. Rebecca Larson. I live on Windermere Circle in Longmont, Colorado, and I'd like to speak to you today about climate change. I was really happy to see as a scientist that Boulder as a city sent more representatives to the Global Climate Summit in Paris than a lot of countries did. It shows that there's a lot of trust and concern about the environment that we have in front of us today. And scientific consensus says that human-induced climate change is something that does indeed exist. So as a scientist, there's nothing that frustrates me more than to see anti-climate change folks start to cherry-pick data from individual scientists here and there saying, well, this guy says it's not true, so we can't believe it. So where I also get frustrated is that as we sit and talk about climate change, agriculture is responsible for 1/3 of all carbon dioxide emissions within the United States. That's a pretty big footprint. So if you look at scientific consensus, which isn't reached lightly, it's something that's taken decades of discussion and debate amongst very highly qualified people doing in-depth research and review of other people's research. There are actually more scientists today that believe in the safety of genetically modified organisms than believe in human-induced climate change. So if we can trust scientific consensus on one front, we here in Boulder County should also trust scientific consensus on the other front that genetically modified organisms are safe. And if we look at that huge carbon footprint that agriculture has today, genetically modified organisms are a big part in curbing carbon emissions. So every time that you go through and disturb the soil, you're releasing a lot of carbon dioxide into the environment. So if you look at the impact of introducing genetically modified organisms that allow you to use fewer and safer herbicides, you don't have to rely on soil disruption to try and get rid of weeds. So for our sugar beet farmers that are part of Western Sugar Cooperative, with whom I work, we have found that our carbon emissions have been reduced 80% by using glyphosate-tolerant sugar beets compared to conventional production. That's pretty remarkable when you think about it. So if we look at the future of Boulder County agriculture, if genetically modified organisms aren't able to be used on Boulder County open space anymore, our farmers will go back to conventional processes and abandon the conservation tillage that's been so good at curbing our carbon footprint. So I encourage you to give some thought to scientific consensus and what that really means, and think about your own thoughts and feelings related to climate change and how agriculture plays a part in that, and the decisions that will be made about agriculture within this county that can help us reach those climate change initiatives. So thank you very much.